Vancouver is a Canadian city that has a long and complex Black history dating back to the late 1700s. At that time, the only people of African descent living in Vancouver were enslaved people brought to the area by the Hudson's Bay Company and the British Royal Navy. By the mid-1800s, the first Black community was established in Vancouver. The small community, known as Hogan's Alley, was located in the Strathcona neighborhood and ran from Main Street to Jackson Avenue between Union and Pryor Streets. Many of the new arrivals during this period were from Oklahoma and California who were fleeing racial violence and segregation in the United States. Unfortunately, these new arrivals also discovered Canada was home to racism. During the 1930s and 1940s, the Black community in Vancouver continued to grow and establish itself socially and economically. During these decades, Hogan's Alley was home to a number of jazz clubs, restaurants, and other establishments. The community was a vibrant center of culture, music, and was home to some of the first Black-owned businesses in Vancouver. Many well-known jazz musicians of the time visited Hogan's Alley, and the area was home to local popular musicians such as the Crump Twins. Hogan's Alley was also home to Vancouver's first Black-owned church, Fountain Chapel, where one of the founders was Nora Hendricks, grandmother of famed musician Jimi Hendrix. The late 1960s ushered in the final years of Hogan's Alley being the center of Black life in Vancouver. During that decade, the city government refused to upkeep housing, sidewalks, and streets, and then labeled the area as urban blight and began forcing out residents through purchasing properties and not reselling them. In 1967, the city of Vancouver planned to build a freeway through the heart of Hogan's Alley, but the plan was abandoned due to public outcry. In 1971, Hogan's Alley was destroyed by the city of Vancouver with the Georgia Viaduct construction project, which permanently displaced the Black community. Today, the once vibrant Black community is long gone, and Vancouver's Black residents currently live across the metro area. However, remnants of Hogan's Alley still remain, which I discovered during my visit. Currently, the area is being revitalized and is home to a variety of businesses, restaurants, and shops. But to the unknowing eye and walking down this now unassuming back street, one would not be aware of the historic legacy of Hogan's Alley. However, there are still structures standing from the heyday of Hogan's Alley. An interesting sight on the passageway is the Jimi Hendrix Shrine, a memorial that pays tribute to the legendary musician who once called Hogan's Alley home. East of Jackson Street, there are murals that pay tribute to the historic legacy of Hogan's Alley and Vancouver's Black residents. This historic neighborhood was once a vibrant hub for Vancouver's Black community and serves as a reminder of the ongoing fight for the preservation of marginalized communities. I'm traveler and Black history fan Stephen Vincent. Join me next time on Safiri.